The hardest, the finals was against Denver. If you're going to reposition how everything goes, like the finals was Denver. They won the finals already. They did it. It's over.
I don't know if I'm going to be disrespectful to the team coming out of the East this year.
I love the way the Pacers play.
I don't want to be disrespectful to them.
Come on.
This series is over. This series is over. Oklahoma City is so dominant. And everybody focuses on the points and the different things that SGA and Jalen Williams can do, all of the other guys that come to the party, Lou Dort and Chet Holmgren and others. But to me, it's what they do on the defensive end. Yes. They have so many all-NBA caliber defenders that it's insane. Like, you think about all-league defenders, guys like Lou Dort, Cason Wallace, and Alex Caruso. I mean, those guys just took turns flustering Anthony Edwards last night, and that's why Ant-Man took a grand total of 2 shots in the first quarter. It wasn't because he didn't want to be aggressive as much as it was that defense was putting him in situations where the best basketball play ended up being him giving up the rock. And I think that if you're Minnesota, this is a glimpse into what is a glaring weakness on your team, which is a reliable co-star opposite of Anthony Edwards, because this is the second game in which Julius Randle, all-NBA caliber player, has pulled a no-show.
Right.
And so I think this is a moment of introspection for the Timberwolves. Back-to-back conference championship games. Anthony Edwards is taking his team as far as it can go when you think about the current composition. They did shake things up this past offseason in trading Karl Anthony Towns. That was more of a money move than anything else. But I think the reality for this team is Ant-Man has taken them as far as they can go without having somebody that's more of a threat as their number 2.
Well, how about their number 1? He's awesome. We know that.
Yeah, he's great.
But when we're going to anoint, that comes with pressure. And I'm not saying anoint like MJ. That's crazy. But anoint as a potential face of the league. 2 shots in the first half. 13 for the game for Anthony Edwards. And this is the 3rd of 4 games played in this series where he's taken 17 shots or less. That's a problem.
So you view it more as not a positive towards Lou Dort, who was excellent in bottling up Ant, or Oklahoma City's defense in general. It's not a byproduct of how dominant they are on both ends of the floor. You're saying that this should be more of an indictment on Ant?
Sometimes you have to take a bad shot for the sake of taking the shot. And when you're him, a bad shot is not necessarily a bad shot. There were a couple of possessions in the Indiana-New York game that Indiana overpassed it. And you're like, okay, just take the shot already. And Ant I understand how great that defense was, but he's got to take more than 2 shots in the first half, because a bad Ant shot is still a good shot because it comes from him. And he is their team. He is their best player. It has to happen that way.
Well, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I think the bigger issue is the composition of the Minnesota Timberwolves roster. The mistake is not Ant-Man not being aggressive. The mistake is having a guy, Rudy Gobert, that is a nothing burger on the offensive end, other than rebounding the basketball. They're 4 on 5 every time they go down on the court to play offense. That they invested 5 first-round draft picks in order to get Rudy Gobert. To me, that's the mistake. That's the flaw in this team. They built it to beat the Denver Nuggets, and they accomplished that last postseason. What they didn't do is build a team that's versatile enough to adjust to the different types of teams that you face as you move through the playoffs, teams like Oklahoma City. And so that's the part where I have a hard time seeing how the Timberwolves get to that next level, because right now I feel like Anthony Edwards has gone as far as he can go. When you look at the Oklahoma City Thunder, if you take away Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, they got a few other guys that can beat you. Jalen Williams is an all-NBA caliber performer, 3rd team this year. Chet Holmgren was the number 2 overall pick once upon a time. We've seen him dominate in the 4th quarters in this series. I mean, you got guys that you can rely on to shoulder the scoring load. With the Timberwolves, if it's not Anthony Edwards, then it's not going to be anybody. You know, as great as Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Jaden McDaniels and Dante DiVincenzo were, those guys ain't going to beat you. You know, you need Anthony Edwards and you need Julius Randle to have big-time performances. And last night, the duo from OKC had 20 more made field goals than the duo from the Minnesota Timberwolves. That's a problem.
That'll do it.
That's the game. I mean, when you shoot over 50% from the field, over 40% from three, and you still lose on your home court, there is a flaw in how you built the team. Now, turnovers didn't help matters. No. Offensive rebounds from OKC didn't help matters. I mean, you gave them 40 extra possessions. But I don't think that's the bigger issue. The bigger issue is you don't have anybody to take the attention away from Anthony Edwards when you go on the offensive end of the court. So every time Ant-Man touches the ball, he's got 2 and sometimes 3 sets of eyeballs on him. That it's going to be impossible for them to get to where they want to go unless they have somebody else that's a more viable threat on the offensive end.
Okay, so based on the math, if he has 2 guys on him and the passes are not working to the second and third guys, taking a shot leaves open. Even if you take a bad shot, they're going to rebound the ball. Like if they don't have, if you're saying the Julius Randle that we're seeing over the last couple of games is more indicative of the real Julius Randle in these spots versus the first part of the playoffs, which is fine, right? Then Ant's got to shoot more.
Well, yeah, this is who Julius Randle is.
Okay, then
ask Nuno and the Knicks fans.
Right.
This is who Julius Randle is.
Then I need more than 13 shots from Anthony Edwards.
I understand what you're saying, Ev, but when you're trying to make the right basketball play, it sometimes necessitates you giving up the rock.
Understood.
And that's what happens. So I get what you're saying. What you got to keep in mind, Anthony Edwards is 23 years old. So there needs to be more maturation when it comes to how to win at this level. And there is some credence to what you're saying. Don't think that I'm trying to dismiss what you're saying.
You can.
No, I'm not. Because I do think there are times that you have to be selfish as a player. But learning when those times are versus when it's important to get the others involved is more art than science. There's so much nuance in that. And when you're in the championship rounds, again, there's a learning curve that's associated with trying to figure out how to break through. And I think that's what we're seeing from Anthony Edwards, but that's also what we're seeing from this Minnesota Timberwolves team. They have some issues in terms of roster construction that they have to address moving forward because guess what? The Oklahoma City Thunder aren't going anywhere.
No.
This is a team that you're going to have to get through if you're going to try to win a chip out of the West.
Anthony Edwards post-game on the struggles that he and Julius Randle had.
I don't look at it like I struggled or he struggled. They had a good game plan, making us get off the ball. Especially for me, man, they was super in the gaps. I made the right play all night, so I don't really look at it like I struggled. I didn't get enough shots to say I struggled, so that might be how you guys look at it. But yeah, I didn't struggle at all. I made the right play.
Yeah, that is literally struggling to get shots.
I mean,
that's struggling.
Well, here's the thing. It's similar to the criticism that LeBron James got early in his career, right? LeBron James, rather than taking the shot in the big moment, he would pass up the ball and it'd be somebody open, but they'd miss it and say, well, why is LeBron not taking the shot? And he's saying LeBron's pointing out that he's making the right basketball play. Uh-huh. Well, sometimes doing the right thing ain't doing the right thing. And I feel like in a lot of instances, that's what we're talking about with Anthony Edwards, giving up the ball, getting others involved, rather than being selfish and getting himself going. The reality is that this team is going to go as Ant goes, and he's got to be able to score at a high clip when you're contending with a team like the Oklahoma City Thunder.
I just think, very simply, for me, what I want to see, to use the Warriors as an example, I want to see more Steph Curry bad games than Jimmy Butler bad games for him. What I mean by that is Steph bad game, bad field goal percentage, high number of shots. Jimmy bad game is I'm not even going to look at the basket and try to score. I'm just going to be in a mood and not score. I mean, I can't have that if I'm the T-Wolves.
So
it doesn't matter. It's over.
You want him to take over.
Take as many shots as possible that are not. I'm not saying pull up from half court, right? And he does make the right basketball play. But again, now it's a good example with LeBron that you brought up. How many times did we say early on in LeBron's career, part of the maturation process is knowing that a bad shot from you is not a bad shot, because if they're doubling, then even if you miss, the rebounding numbers are in your favor. You have 4 guys going for rebounds. They have 3.
I'm just saying this. Let's also keep things in their proper perspective. The young man is 23 years old.
Oh, yeah. This is great for him.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is 26. Steph Curry didn't win his first chip until he was 26. LeBron James was around that age when he won his first time. Like, it takes a while to figure this out. It takes a certain level of basketball maturity before you figure out how to break through. It does. The first time we saw Michael Jordan in the postseason, he didn't just run through the playoffs and win a title. He kept beating his head against the Detroit Pistons and the Boston Celtics. Eventually, he got through, but it took a while. Anthony Edwards, back-to-back years, has got the Minnesota Timberwolves in the championship rounds. First time this team has been to the conference finals in back-to-back years in franchise history. Even though this series is over, I think we have to acknowledge how special that young man is. And eventually, this guy's going to figure out how to break through.
I agree with that. We're impatient with him because we want him to be that guy so badly.
Yes.
We are impatient with him because we want him to be the face. We want him to be the next man up because we love the style of play. We love his personality. And we do need to give him some time.
Coming up, go New York, go New York, go. After CC has this from ESPN Bet.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app, sign up with promo code USL, and get started today. Now, you got to be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
The NBA playoffs on ESPN Radio.
Gilgeous-Alexander, open three. Bang, you got it.
From the play-in tournament.
It really just